Hi, Julie Jones from SSB Performance, Smarter, Stronger, Better Mindset Training, here with this week's Mindset Made Simple Tip of the Week, brought to you by Game Day Sportswear. And before we get started, if you have an athlete who needs one-on-one mental performance training, please send me an email, juliej@ssbperformance.com. I'd love to add them to my group of athletes with whom I work on a weekly or bi-weekly basis to help them use their talent and their training to their fullest. This week, we're talking about everything's a performance and 7 ways to make yours better. Last week, I had the opportunity to spend 3 days with the Ohio Parks and Recreation Association and employees from all over the state of Ohio doing jobs anywhere from executive directors to facility attendants and everything in between. And what I know about these people is that these people are service people. They are there to enhance the lives of all of us in our communities. And I know that we in this house spend a lot of time in our metro parks and our national parks that we are so lucky to have here in Ohio. Such beautiful, beautiful places for us to be able to go and enjoy nature and make our lives better, because you know the value of nature, you know the value of fitness at your community fitness center. But these people are awesome people, and I had a blast. But what we talked about was that everything we do is performance. Customer service is performance. Going to play the championship is performance. Walking into a meeting is a performance. Anytime we deal with people, we are performing. We don't like that term. All the world's a stage, as Shakespeare said. We have all of these different stages that we go through in our performance, in our jobs, in our lives, in our everyday workings. Perform means to do a task, or to get up and make a presentation. Whatever it is, we perform. We don't like that word because it makes us think like we have to sing and dance, and we don't sing and dance. Well, some of us do. Some of us do in the car, and it's not so great. But performing is what it's all about. And we talked about 7 C's, no, customer service, 7 P's of peak performance, and the best customer service possible. The 7 P's of peak performance, again, are being present, being positive, posture, and performance. And we added to that, or process, and we added to that professionalism, people first, and patience. Probably one of the hardest ones for me. Here are some of the things that we discussed and some of the ways that we can make our performances better. Number 1, being present is key, no matter whether we are trying to do something out on the field, make a presentation, or deal with a customer that's right in front of us. How do we remain present? We spend so much time worrying about what's going to happen. If this happens, then what? Or the last time I did this, this is what happened. We're not present in either one of those situations. We're not looking at what's most important now. We're taking our experience and turning this moment into something that it may or may not be. We're not able to gain information that we need to make the best decisions possible to be our best in this moment. What are a couple ways that we can get ourselves back to being present? You know that ugly cry that you've done before, you know it. That physiological sigh can help us take a pause and remain present. We can only breathe in the present. What's a physiological sigh? Try it. That helps us reintroduce oxygen to all of our systems. Number 1, the prefrontal cortex, which helps us think. Really, really, really important for being present and making good decisions on whether or not we are going to hit this pitch or the words we're going to use to talk to the customer that's in front of us. That's one way. Secondly, we can narrow our focus and think, what do I need to do next? What do I need to do now? We can ask ourselves a question. Because when we ask ourselves a question, instead of thinking about a million other things, we can start to look for solutions. Being present, narrowing our focus to where we are, who's in front of us, the task at hand, not worrying about all the other things in our environment. Responding to what's in front of us now helps keep us present. It is being present. It's that simple. Number 2, being positive. The words we use. If you read last week's tip, I didn't have a video, got a little busy. Last week's tip, we talked about the words we use. Using positive words changes our perspective of everything. How we talk about our obstacles, turning them into opportunities, changes the way that we approach them. We either look for solutions or we look for more issues. Words matter. Words matter. I met with one of my wrestlers last night, and he was talking about a wrestle-off that he did not win. But the way that he talked about it leads me to believe that he will compete better the next time he faces this guy and wrestles off, so he's the guy that wrestles in the next duel, because he's talking about it in positive terms to say, I know I didn't wrestle my best, but when I do this, and when I do this, that's one tip right there. Changing the but to and. But stops the dialogue. Think about it. I really love you, but I can't stay. Do you hear that I love you, or do you hear that I can't stay? I really love you and I can't stay. We played a really great game, but it was really challenging. What do you hear? You hear the challenge. You forgot about the fact that we played a really good game. We played a really good game and it was really challenging. Now it's like exciting that it was challenging because we played really well and it was exciting. Instead of we played really well, but it was exciting. It was challenging. The challenge sounds like a problem. If you put the and instead of the but, now the challenge is really awesome because we played really well. The other thing that we can add into our positive conversation is, I can't throw a drop ball. That doesn't sound very positive yet. Okay, we're not doing it today, but that leaves space for growth. It leads us to think about what we need to do so that we can do it. It's not that we can't do it, we just can't do it yet. Those are two totally different statements. Think about how you can change your words just a little bit or flip them around to turn that obstacle into an opportunity, or to turn that statement into something that is great from start to finish. Not the but. The but makes people forget what you said before and they focus on whatever that seems like is the problem when this really might not be a problem. You just can't stay. Or it was just challenging. Both of those things could be really good. Think about that. Number 3, our posture. Of course, our posture matters. In fact, you can show someone how you feel no matter what you are saying. So you could be talking really, really positively. But if you're making gestures that say that things aren't positive, they are not even going to hear what you say. They are going to see what you do. So no one knows how you feel unless you show them. It's not even about telling them, it's about showing them. As Dr. Madden, one of my professors in college, used to say, you cannot not communicate. How you walk into a room communicates. How you step up to the plate communicates. How you walk into a meeting communicates. What are you broadcasting with your posture? Are you broadcasting that you're ready? Or are you broadcasting that you're anxious? Because no matter what you say, it's what people see. They will follow what they see more than what they hear. Think about it. Think about your own experience. Number 4, the process. As you know, my favorite quote, losers have goals, winners have systems. We have to have a plan. Process matters. We don't determine outcomes. We don't determine how long we live. We can only determine whether we're going to live well. And how do we live well? By the processes that we follow, by the choices that we make, by the plans that we make. I'm going to get up every morning at 6 a.m. to exercise because I know that makes my life better and it allows me to eat some cookies. But our process matters. And one thing that we talked about in the training that I did with the OPRA was WOOP. You've heard me say it before, WOOP. What do you wish for? What do you want? What's it going to be like? Visualize what's it going to be like when you get that so that it connects your emotion to, yes, I want to move forward for this. The other O, the obstacle. What could trip me up? What's out there that could keep me from reaching my wish or my want? And then the P, I'm going to plan for it. I'm going to plan for those obstacles so that I can get what I want no matter what comes my way, because whatever comes my way, I'm ready for it. I thought about it. I have a plan. It's not going to knock me off course. I'm almost expecting it. When I expect something, I don't get startled. When I expect something, I don't get nervous. I already have thought about this. I've even pictured it. I even planned for it. I am ready. That process really matters. The 5th P that we talked about was being professional, professionalism. The one thing about professionals is this, is that they never lose control. Now, as a coach, yes, you lose control. But what you know, that when you do lose control, it rarely is helpful. It's rarely helpful. This is where we can go back to our whoop. Go back up to number 4 in following our process. If we've thought about all the obstacles that could come, I know that when we get rushed, this is how I react or respond. I can have a plan so that I respond in a much better way, so that I don't react, so that I follow my plan. Whatever it is that gets you all in a tiz, you can plan for it. And then maybe your stress level comes down a little bit and you can actually look for solutions in that situation because you've already embedded them in your mind. And okay, I thought about this is where I'm going. Or I thought about this is where I'm going. That helps you remain professional and in control. Professionals always remain in control. And the professionals that remain in control remain in the game longer. And that's really important because you have to be in the game to play the game. The 6P is people first. When pressure strikes, we have a tendency to isolate. Think about it. When you get stressed out, you hope everybody around you just be quiet. Or when you get stressed out, you lock yourself in your office or in your dorm room or wherever it might be because you don't have time to mess with that. You are stressed. Or you stop communicating. But if we can get out of that and pull people in fact, we need people when we're stressed. And when we look for ways to help others, it takes the focus off of us and champions our outward focus. One of the best ways to relieve pressure is to put other people first. We never get there without other people. And our last P, patience, maybe the hardest for all of us. When we start to become impatient, we get to the what ifs, the if I have to, or I have to, if I do this, she's driving me crazy, I don't have time for this. The impatience keeps it from being our best. How can we be more patient? We can stop for a second and pull out our controllable list. What can I control? What can I control? And on that uncontrollable list, how is my mindset and perspective affecting the way that I'm dealing with these things? I can't control them, but they're taking my focus. How can I change my strategy and think about ways that I can possibly ignore or give these things less importance in what's going on around me? How we can influence our uncontrollables might help us be more patient. Are the choices that I'm making in my responses influencing what happens next? Absolutely. Are they then influencing the behavior of other people? Most likely. We're not controlling it, but it's all about how we choose to respond. Our responses change what happens next. And if we can be patient for a minute, look around and gather information we need, that when we don't have a chance to pause, we miss a lot of that. Think about it. When the game slows down, we play better. When the game rushes, we miss all kinds of information that we need to make our best choices on what we need to do now to make this situation better for us and everyone around us. Be patient. Take a pause. Use your physiological side. Narrow your focus just for a minute and say, what can I control now that will help me be my best at this moment, and respond appropriately. If I can come and talk with your group about these 7 Ps or anything else that has to do with peak performance, shoot me an email at juliej@sspperformance.com. Have a great week. Manage the moments. Until next week, take care.